If you have attended any of our focus groups before, you know what they are all about. For our first timers here, these webinars are purely to help you use and understand Zoho features better to easily implement the same in your business. And that's the aim behind every focus group, to make things a little easier. Hey everyone, hope you all are doing well today. Thank you all for being a part of today's focus group of part 3 of using emails in Zoho CRM, advanced email configurations in Zoho CRM. As the name suggests, today we'll look into the advanced features of emails in Zoho CRM, what it does, how it works, and how you can use it. I am Jerry from the Zoho community team, and I'll be walking you through the session. Joining me are Sundarjan, Karthikeyan, Vidya, and Nandini, who will be acting as our panelists today. Do make the most of their presence and feel free to ask them any related questions that pop up. We have a Q&A session towards the end of today's focus group, but you can ask questions as the session progresses using the chat interface. We've had to pre-record this webinar to avoid technical difficulties as much as possible. However, if we do face issues during the session, please be kind as to let us know in the chat box and we will rectify it as soon as possible. In this last part of the 3-part series webinar, we dive deep into the advanced email configurations in Zoho CRM. Today, we will be discussing the importance of the email parser for your business and its setup process, email deliverability, its authentication standards, how to automate email workflows, and latest email features in Zoho CRM. Most importantly, we'll pick business challenges that Zoho customers like yourself have faced and discuss how emails in Zoho CRM can be leveraged to get past them. This series was planned to fully equip the users with the email features of Zoho CRM from start to end and map them to real-time problems that they can solve for businesses like yours. Part 1. Basics of emails in Zoho CRM. Now let's take a look at the previous 2 parts. Part 1. Basics of emails in Zoho CRM. This part covered the basic email account configurations, the use of the BCC Dropbox and its advantages, how to send mass emails for businesses, and configure workflow rules for the same. The webinar also provided insights on the importance of using emails for businesses and a few best practices to send emails. Now for part 2, integrating Zoho CRM with Zoho campaigns. This webinar was hosted by one of our featured MVPs, Mr. Michael Troe. He covered the newer integration advantages, efficient contact syncing, sectioning of marketing and non-marketing contacts, and what's in the roadmap for this integration. However, if you have missed these 2 prequels, do not worry. The recordings are available on the Zoho community's YouTube channel. Do find time to catch a glimpse of the same. If your business uses Zoho CRM, then it's to your added advantage that Zoho CRM provides email communication access from right within CRM itself. This efficient marketing strategy can aid your business communication when combined with a contextual repository of customer data. It's not enough for businesses to just have the basic configuration done. If you were a part of the previous webinars in this series, or if you can catch a glimpse of the same, you would know how helpful these webinars are for businesses as they solve real-time problems. Apart from the basic configuration, it is essential that businesses dive deep and use CRM to its fullest advantage. Email parser, email deliverability, workflows for email actions, and Zia for emails are some of the advanced features that businesses should never look past. Towards the end of this webinar, we'll also be showcasing how these advanced features can form a streamlined business process. In this webinar, we take the use case of a real estate company named Casa Square. This real estate company specializes in selling apartments and plots for affordable prices. The company wants to generate leads for their new apartment and start the sales process. For this, they've set up a sales team to make conversations with leads. But for the leads to come in, they have put out print ads and social media ads for people to send in their home requirements and budgets that they can afford to the company's marketing manager's email address. A sample email that the company might receive could have information about the name, the job of the person, the designation, their interests, the phone number, and an email address. Now imagine if the marketing manager, you're getting thousands of emails that look like this. Adding data from each email carefully is going to be highly taxing for anybody. This can also end up with errors and mistakes, where leads who could turn into potential customers can be missed out. This will definitely hurt the revenue, and this is where email parser can be used to make the whole process seem easy. Email Parser is a data extraction tool in Zoho CRM that helps to retrieve necessary data from an email without even having to open it, and then it also automates the process of adding records from the data extracted to Zoho CRM. Since the most important process in any business sales process is lead generation, the business growth and the revenue depends on it completely. The collected leads must then be followed up effectively and then must be converted into qualified customers. For this, the right information on leads is required. In our example, Casa Square, a real estate company, might receive emails with name, address, profession, etc. Adding all of this data into CRM to start making conversations might take up a lot of time. Here, the email parser comes in handy as you have a lot of incoming emails where retrieving data does not become a task to do. The more data that you have about your leads, the more aware you are about their needs. This way, you can have more meaningful conversations with your leads and your probability of closing a deal becomes higher. Now, let us look at the steps required to set up and configure the email parser. Step 1. Create the email parser. Here we give the parser a name and associate a module with it. Step 2. Configure parser details. Here we create a template to pass subsequent emails. Any email content that does not adhere to the template will be considered invalid and will not be passed. Step 3. Update the fields. Whenever a new record is generated, this option is used to update a field. The following are the list of supported fields: text fields, pick lists, websites, dates, numeric fields, fax fields, double field currency types, double field decimals, long integers, currencies, and booleans. Step 4. Assign a record owner. Whenever a new record is created, the parser allows you to assign a record owner automatically. These record owners can be assigned depending on their user, role, or assignment rule. Step 5. Enter approved email address. As a lot of spam emails are being received heavily by organizations, to prevent the junk data from being transmitted into CRM, only emails from allowed email addresses should be processed. And so, this step allows you to add a list of approved email addresses. Zoho CRM allows up to 5 approved email addresses. Now that we've seen the steps involved in creating an email parser, let's see the two important methods to configure an email parser. The first method is sending an email to the pre-parser address. In this method, a sample email containing the information to be passed along with the respective modules is sent to the pre-parser email address so that the same can be applied as a template. Once the email is received at the parser end, the data can be mapped to the fields by selecting them. The parser then extracts the data and continues to do the same for all emails received in that template. In the content that is sent as email, the delimiters need to be used as separators for the key value pairs so that data mapping is made easy. The email content received can also be modified by using Change Content option found at the bottom right corner of the parsing page. Zoho CRM also chooses to add attachments to the CRM record that is created. Now let's take a look at the second method used to configure the email parser. Here, you can simply copy and paste any content that needs to be passed that contains data corresponding to the respective fields. The difference between this method and the previous one is that here there is no creation of an email template. The content to be passed is simply copied and pasted with delimiters separating the key value pairs and mapped to the respective fields. What are delimiters? It's important to know what delimiters are when it comes to using or configuring your email parsers. While using the key value approach, the delimiters help extract the data by acting as separators. There are three types of delimiters that Zoho CRM allows, namely the colon, hyphen, and equals. All these delimiters have no differences in their specifications as they perform the same functions. Now let's consider this business use case. A real estate brand Casa Square has marketed their offers using print ads and social media ads. So a huge sum of leads are going to be coming in via emails as the CTA was to send personal details to the marketing manager's email address. And now this can happen from contacts within CRM and not in CRM too. Here, our aim is to pass the data as and when an email is received. So, let's start creating a parser rule. For that, click on Setup. Under Channels, click on Email. Click on Email Parser. First, click on the parser settings and add the approved email address. Only data that is sent from these addresses will be passed, as a lot of spam emails might also be sent. And now we copy the pre-parser email address, as we are going to be choosing method 1 to configure the email parser. That is, we will be sending the content that has to be created as template to the pre-parser email address. We send the data to be passed to the pre-parser email address with a subject. Once the data is sent to the pre-parser email address, we create a new parser rule. Here you can see that the screen loads as it waits for the email to be received. Once received, you will be able to see a new parser rule present. Now you can find the new rule present here. So we click on the rule, enter the rule name, specify the modules to be leads. We select the standard layout and click on next. Here we can map the necessary data. Once the data is mapped, click on next. we can set the role matching criteria. We want the subject to contain leads for Casa Square. We can update necessary records and also send this lead for approval. You can also choose to add attachments to the records and update fields if necessary, and also assign the record owner. Click on finish. Now you can see that a new email parser rule has been saved successfully. You can continue to send the remaining emails in the same template for other leads. As the leads come in, you can see that the email count for the particular parser rule increases. Now you can see that the email count for the particular parser role has increased. Then you can find out that the details of these leads have already been added to your CRM. You can then find out that the details of these leads have been automatically added into Zoho CRM. So click on leads, as that's the module we selected. You can find the list here. As you click on each lead, you can find the information. You can find that the data sent as email has now been passed and categorized into the necessary fields. And using these details, you can simply click on send email to start conversations with your leads. Email deliverability. Considering our business use case, our real estate company now has a list of leads ready to be interacted with after data being passed by the email parser. A set of email marketing strategies are also being planned for the same. Now, before proceeding to that step, it is wise and recommended to get the organization's private domains authenticated and verified so that the domain does not get blacklisted, as marketers might use various domains for their filtered and organized communication. As prominent email servers might not recognize private domains, the risk of emails not landing in the lead's inbox is very high. Considering this challenge, Zoho CRM provides businesses with an email configuration feature called email deliverability. Email deliverability helps you to reduce the chances of emails sent by businesses to land in spam or promotional folders. It has two factors that, when configured right, increase the deliverability rate of the email that is sent. Email deliverability solely depends on two factors, namely email authentication and email relay. Verifying and authenticating the private domain might need some private information from your email administrator, like the port number, SSL or TLS certificate. Do get in touch with your email administrator before setting up your email authentication and email relay. Email authentication. In the present age, marketers and organizations prioritize email marketing for their communication, and evidently, this marketing strategy is now at its peak. It's a sight to see businesses use this strategy to their niche by optimizing content the way their audience would like it and get the job done. Before making the best out of this strategy, it's wise to follow the single best practice to send emails via Zoho CRM for your business: email authentication. Zoho CRM provides this feature so that businesses can establish an email policy that can define the rules by which the email source can be authenticated as emails are being sent from various domains. To sum it up, email authentication helps organizations to increase the trustworthiness of emails they send by minimizing the risk of them ending in spam, promotional folders, or even being blacklisted. To authenticate emails in Zoho CRM, the following authentication standards must be validated: domain verification, DKIM, domain keys identified mail. Now let's take a look at the steps involved in setting up email authentication. We have step 1, that is to add the company's domain or subdomain, step 2, to verify the domain details, and step 3, to validate the records. Let's get domains verified. Step 1, adding the company's domain and subdomain. To start this, click on Setup. Under Channels, click on Email, and here you can click on Email Deliverability. And under Email Deliverability, select Email Authentication. In the Email Authentication tab, click on Add Domain. Here, you can enter the name of the domain, and once the name of the domain is entered, click on Add Domain. So here we enter the email address. Then click on Add Domain. Now a generated code is being sent to the email address, and that brings us to step 2. Step 2, verifying the domain details. Now we need to verify the domain and subdomain details. So here we click on Enter Code, we copy the verification code, and then click on Verify. Now you'll be able to see that the domain name is verified and not authenticated, which takes us to the next step. Here we validate the SPF and DKIM records in DNS settings. You can click on Validate Records. Here you can find that the domain is now verified and authenticated. If your business or organization sends large amount of emails on a daily basis, there's a higher chance that the emails might be marked as spam. To eliminate this, a middleman server is used to relay the messages sent. This is called email relay. Now to set up email relay, click on Setup. Under Channels, click on Email, and under Email Deliverability, click on Email Relay. So before you proceed, make sure you get the following information from your email administrator, that is the port number and the information on secure connection, that is the host name and the password. So let's configure the email relay now. Click on New Server. We enter a server name, and from this drop down list we can choose the port number. Zoho CRM allows port numbers 25, 465 and 587. You can also specify the maximum number of emails that can be sent. You can either choose from these secure connections, that is SSL, TSL, or never have a secure connection. And if an authentication is required, you can also set a particular username and a password. And if you click no, the same disappears. Zoho CRM also allows you to have advanced details here. So here you can choose a domain to be added in the server. That is, you can select the domain from the drop down list and all the domains that you have added for your email authentication will be listed here. You can additionally add a new domain by clicking on add new domain. Or like we mentioned earlier, you can select any of the domains that you've listed already. Type of email. Select the type of email from the drop-down list. Check Enable to allow Zoho to sign DKIM for the emails routed via the relay server. And then once you click on Configure, your email relay is now in place. Here you can find differences between email authentication and email relay. Workflows for email actions. Workflows for email actions are actions that we can configure based on customer actions and organization actions taken on the email. Follow-up actions or emails can be triggered to create a communication system with customers so that they are constantly in touch with the business or the organization. Now let us look at the three parts involved in creating workflows for email actions. Part 1 is the rule execution, Part 2 is specifying the condition, and Part 3 is specifying the action. In Part 1 for rule execution, we can have actions based on the incoming email if they are received, unreplied and opened and unreplied, and for outgoing emails if they are sent, bounced, opened, clicked, opened and unreplied, unreplied, replied, and replied within. In Part 2, specifying the condition, it can either be based on the email field, setting workflow actions if an email is received from a particular email address, or based on the module where setting a workflow for a particular module can happen for which you want the rule to get executed. In Part 3, specifying the action, you can set either instant or scheduled actions for emails, and here are the list of actions available. Email notification, task, field update, create record, this is only for unknown, webhook, function, notify via Slack or click. Now let's look at a business use case implementing the following parts for a complete workflow creation. Considering our business use case, we have a real estate company called Casa Square. Now that we've received leads, it's time to send out welcome emails, offer emails, and newsletters to start making conversation with the leads and convert them into potential customers. To set up workflows for email actions, go to Setup and under Automation, click on Workflow Rules. Here you can already see the list of workflow rules available, and now we click on Create Rule. We select the module to be emails and we give this a rule name and a rule description. Now we've entered the setup page for workflows for email actions. Here you can choose to trigger the workflow for either an incoming email or an outgoing email based on the business requirement. In our case, we are setting the workflow for an outgoing email, and now we can specify the conditions. We want the condition to be opened and unreplied in 2 days. Now This workflow will get triggered when an outgoing email is opened and unreplied for 2 days. You can also specify if you'd like to set conditions for the email fields. Click on yes. So we apply this rule to the emails matching all of these conditions. We want the subject to contain the word offer. So any outgoing email that contains the word offer has probably spoken to the customers about the offer available, and if that outgoing email is opened and unreplied for 2 days, this workflow will get triggered. We apply this rule to a specific module, in this case leads, and we'd like to apply this to all the leads. Once we click on next, here you can either set instant actions or scheduled actions. In our case, we wish to have an instant action of notifying the record owner and also add scheduled actions to send follow-up emails consecutively for the next 2 weeks in an organized manner. So the follow-ups are planned within a span of 14 days after the email is opened and unreplied. So we set up an instant action. We allocate the owner, and in scheduled actions like we said, we are going to be having scheduled actions for 14 days. Now we have also set up scheduled actions for 14 days to make sure that the record owner is also notified of the same. Once the workflow has been set, you can click on save. You can now find that your workflow is switched on. We can set multiple workflow rules, likewise for emails that were opened and replied, and for the ones that were unopened. A series of communication strategies can be kept in place for various scenarios. The same can also be applied for incoming emails too. If a particular customer email is left open and unanswered, then a particular personnel can be alerted of the same and necessary action can be taken from there. ZIA for emails. The emails received by sales teams need to be carefully scrutinized as data extraction is a tedious process. Studying the data and creating records for the same in Zoho CRM can be a taxing process on the whole. What if this process can be automated? Yes, ZIA for emails makes it possible. In this feature, ZIA, an AI-driven sales assistant, helps you identify and extract data from emails without you having to open and read the emails received. ZIA for email comprises of the following features: data enrichment from email signatures, activity extraction from email, intent of an email, email sentiment analysis, summary of an email. Now let's take a brief look at these features. Data enrichment from email signatures. ZIA's data enrichment from email signatures helps facilitate data population for leads, contacts, and accounts. Important details like email address, website, contact number, company name, social handles, designation, company location, and address mentioned in the email signature can be captured into CRM records. As professional email signatures contain pivotal information, they can be easily mapped to the enriched fields. Activity extraction from an email. Organizations send webinar invites or send meeting links, share agendas or venue details, schedule calls, or managers may assign tasks to their team members over emails. If the record of the same has to be added in CRM, manually entering the data can be time consuming and also end up in causing numerous errors. This is where Zia's activity extraction from emails comes in handy. Intent of the email. Zia monitors email conversations and highlights the intent of the received emails. Zia understands the content of the email by quick scanning and captures the intent correctly so that record owners can make the necessary business decisions. Zia can identify emails based on these intents, namely request, query, complaint, and others. Email sentiment analysis. Amidst the hundred of emails that sales teams receive every day, it's evident that the ones having a negative tone usually require immediate attention over the others. For example, if it's an e-commerce brand, it could be product damages, delivery delays, and transaction issues that need immediate addressing. But to identify these emails that need priority or immediate attention, a particular executive needs to be appointed to go through these heaps of emails received, as the subject of the emails might not convey the exact meaning and the purpose behind it. That's when Zia's email sentiment analysis can come to your aid. Here is the list of email sentiments: positive email sentiment, negative email sentiment, and neutral. Summary of an email. In email summary, Zia automatically summarizes the text of emails and provides a concise insight of the email in a single line. This way, without opening the emails, the recipient will know the context and decide which email requires priority and which ones can wait. Now, let's look at a business use case where we can use the mentioned Zia features. Initially, we had leads coming in from various sources. The data was passed and extracted into the CRM. Then mass emails were sent out and conversations were made. Based on customer interactions with email, follow-ups were also done. Now, after accumulating this huge pile of data and conversations, Zia for emails comes in handy as it helps understand emails without even having to open them. Data enrichment from email signatures. Here, we can easily identify customer avatars, that is, our buyers, based on the information in their email signature. It could be the designation, company, house address, and so on. Activity extraction lets you know about emails consisting of calls, webinars, tasks, and so on. Intent of the email. This feature helps you understand the context of the email, that is, whatever the customer has tried to convey. Zia understands this with the help of a few words that people generally use in emails to express a request, query, or complaint. Email sentiment. This feature helps to identify the tone of the email received. There are three types of intents, namely positive, negative, and neutral. Summary of the email. This feature helps in getting a brief of the entire email in a single line. Now, let's look at a demo for email intent and email sentiment. Select a module of your choice. In this case, we select leads. After we select a record, click on emails in the related list. Here, you will be able to find the sentiment of emails and the intent based on if the email is a request, complaint, or others. Select a module of your choice. Here we select leads. Click on any record, and under the related list, click on emails. You can simply hover your cursor on any email conversation and you will find view summary appear. Simply click on it and you will have the summary of the email displayed in a single line to you. Having this, you can take necessary actions without even opening to read the entire email. Now, Let's take a quick tour of the newer features that were introduced in the recent times for emails in Zoho CRM. Sales Inbox for POP3. Yes, you heard that right. For those who haven't heard about Sales Inbox, it's a feature that segments your emails into categories for better efficiency. Sales Inbox gives you a dedicated view of emails not only from leads and deals but also from not in CRM and colleagues. It gives you the option to choose from single column view and multi column view. Any emails not in CRM can be added as a lead or contact in a single click. The feature automatically takes the basic details, and once you furnish the advanced details, your lead or contact is ready. With this feature, you can efficiently categorize your leads so that you can spend time on the most valuable ones. All this while, Sales Inbox was available only for users who configured their email accounts with the IMAP protocol. After hearing numerous customer requests, we've decided to make Sales Inbox available for POP3 configuration as well. Now, when you integrate your email account via POP3, a Sales Inbox account is created. As a business owner, it's more than just gratifying to have all your emails in one place and organized. You can choose to communicate with your colleagues, your leads, deals, and also with users who are not in your CRM in an organized manner and also keep track of the same. Email folder would not be supported for POP3 users. The newer concessions have paved way for emails to be directly synced with Sales Inbox for POP3 accounts as well. This eliminates the need of having an email folder, which will now be removed for all accounts moving forward. This direct sync is set to happen automatically, and a creation of Sales Inbox for the same is not required. Email storage. Apart from the already available file and storage space in Zoho CRM, additionally, we are introducing a free email storage option of up to 5 GB per user license or 500 GB for an organization, whichever is lower. Workflows for emails are now available in POP3. This feature is now made available for POP3 users as well. Workflow for emails help maintain a constant and seamless communication system with your contacts regardless of their availability. For example, if an email is sent regarding an offer announcement and it appears to be left unopened for a couple of days, a particular set of follow-up actions can be set to communicate with the customers. If the same email is opened and unreplied, another set of actions can be planned, and so on and so forth. Zia for emails for POP3. Zoho CRM's AI tool Zia has been used to enhance the email experience with CRM greatly. Now, POP3 users will also be able to use these configurations and features. These features are nothing but the ones that we've covered in the previous slides. Email sentiment to categorize emails as having positive, negative, or neutral sentiments. Email intent to display the intent such as request, query, complaint, and others. Email summary that summarizes the email in one line to help prioritize which email to respond first. Activity extraction from email signature to extract customer details, calls, and tasks from an email. Email backup for IMAP configuration. It's time for IMAP users to stop worrying about their email backup. This long-awaited feature request in the community is now being made possible. For a quick brief, email backup is used when users leave an organization and their user license needs to be deactivated. The backed up emails will then be displayed in the email related list. Import email filters. A lot of customers efficiently use the email filters available to get a hold of the exact email conversations that they are looking for. Sales Inbox has this really cool ability that allows its users to import email filters. Configuration pages UI updates. This is a small but very efficient change in the email protocol configuration page. Once you set up your account using the POP configuration, and when your CRM has more than 20 users, your account will be eligible to use Zia's features. So let's first set up the email account with POP configuration. Click on get started. Choose the POP configuration. Select the email address. Allow necessary permissions. And now we can see that the account is configured with the POP configuration. Once this is done, go to setup. Under ZIA, click on communication. Now click on email intelligence. Here you can now find that all the ZIA features for emails are now active for POP users as well. Now let's look at a demo to set up POP3 for Sales Inbox. Click on Setup. Under Channels, click on Email. Under Email Configuration, we select the email service, and in the drop down list you can click on POP, click on Configure. Once you select the account and give the necessary permissions, you will now see that the email account is configured with the POP protocol. And you can also find Sales Inbox here on top. So once you click on it, once the emails are synced, you will be able to find them in categories of leads, deals, not in CRM, and colleagues. Now let's say that the business owner wants to take a look at the emails that are going to close this month to get a hang of the month's sales activities. The same can be achieved here by using the Import Email Filters feature. First, click on Sales Inbox. Click on Settings. And under Filters, you can import a filter of your own. Here you can see that you can only import filters under the .xml and the .dat file types. You can also choose to configure your own filter based on requirements that matches best with your business needs. The initial email protocol configuration page had various icons to choose from, but now there's a slight difference. Let's go check it out. Then click on Setup. Under Channels, click on Email, and under Email Configuration, click on Email. We get started. Click on the email service, and here you can find that the UI has been changed to a drop-down list that shows you the options IMAP, POP, and API for you to choose from, which makes it much easier for users to decide what their configuration should be. As we approach the end of this webinar, let's have a quick recap of the topics that we have covered. First, the email parser. It's a data extraction tool that works based on rules that users create based on their business needs. It can be done in 2 steps: by sending an email to the pre-parser address or copy-pasting the content directly that needs to be passed. Then, email deliverability. It's a feature that authenticates your business emails and lessens the chance of them landing in spam, promotional folders, or mislabeled. Email deliverability is split into email authentication and email relay. Email authentication is a process used to verify the private domains. Email relay is a feature that is used while sending bulk emails. ZIA for emails. It is a feature that helps in studying the data and creating records in Zoho CRM. It allows features like data enrichment from email signatures, activity extraction from email, intent of an email, email sentiment analysis, summary of an email. Workflows for email actions. This feature helps you create automatic consequent triggers that maintain a seamless and constant communication system with your customers. Newer configurations in Zoho CRM. Sales inbox now available for POP3 users. Direct email sync available for POP3 users. Additional email storage space. Workflow for emails are now available in POP3. ZIA for emails for POP3. Email backup for IMAP configuration. Import email filters and configuration pages UI updates. Now let's put these discussed features to streamline a sales process for your business. Email Parser to email deliverability to workflows for email actions, and then ZIA for emails. First, you get in leads via various sources and pass the data to CRM using your email parser. This data comes in from contacts in CRM and also from contacts not in CRM. Second, before sending mass emails, you need to make sure that your private email domains are verified and authenticated using email deliverability. So, we set up email authentication and email relay to make sure that the emails sent are neither blacklisted nor sent to spam or promotional folders, as mass emails are generally sent in bulk. Third, you finally send the mass emails that could be newsletters, offer announcements, or product updates, and set workflows for necessary follow-ups to build conversations and keep customers informed and updated about your activities. Fourth, from the conversations that you make with customers, ZIA's features can be used to filter out leads that are most likely to be closed and given more priority. Thereby, your business will no longer have to deal with redundant data entry that might end up having errors, emails landing in spam or being blacklisted, zero follow-ups for customer replies, and not knowing which deals would close. We hope that this part 3 of using emails in Zoho CRM was of value to you. Use the implementations, try and test them out based on your business requirements. Reach out to us even if you have the slightest of difficulties, and we'll be happy to assist you to get through the same. We'll meet you with another interesting webinar very soon. Thank you.